a decade.
A little bit more.
And
almost two.
And he's the co-founder of the Fédération FFDN, which is a gathering, a federation of dozens of community networks in France.
I'm sorry I did not prepare a slideshow. To give you a quick introduction, FDN is the oldest internet access provider in France. It has been created in 1992, so 5 years before trying to open the telecom market, which was not yet an internet market. By that time, telecom was for phone companies, not for internet access providers. And before opening the market in France, there was about 50 internet access providers, and after opening the market, there was about 5 of them. So a great success of opening. The phone market got opened, not the internet access market. We are a non-profit organization. We have always been a non-profit organization. Non-profit is a thing. It is also a volunteer-based organization. We have no employees. People are building their own access. We did change from an organization to a federation of 30 internet access providers, each of them being a non-profit organization. So there is a great variety in the Federation FDN. Some are building rural networks with Wi-Fi to create an access where there is nothing. Some are operating networks for urban citizens. I mean, my rural area is Paris, so not so rural. But there are some access problems in that kind of places. If you see internet as an infrastructure with services, and you consider Netflix to be the service and Orange or Belgacom to be the infrastructure, you are missing something. The infrastructure is fiber, Wi-Fi, DSL. There is an internet access in between, and Netflix is a service on top of the internet access. With the same infrastructure, you can provide different kind of internet access. When you have common internet access, let's say Belgacom in Brussels, you cannot easily provide content, which is a key point of net neutrality definition. I should be able to access and provide content of my choice, to access and provide applications, which I cannot do with most of the internet access. With the internet access on that, I cannot provide services or content. And right now in France, 4G is considered to be a viable alternative to high-speed deployment, to broadband access, which is not true in terms of network neutrality. About the European code, in France we are acting quite strangely because we are really structured. The 30 non-profit organizations are all considered operators, declared, and we are all working with the French ARCEP, which is the National Regulation Authority, and I think it's unusual in Europe. The key point is that it did cost us a lot of work, and in fact we invest a lot in work, not in money. When we build our network, we invest work in an infrastructure, volunteer work. When we work with the National Regulation Authority, we invest work to try to explain how we work, what we do, and how we can do it. All the work in France about network neutrality has been done by volunteer organizations like La Quadrature du Net and ourselves. We have a problem with the European Telecommunication Code as it is prepared right now. This code is a chit-chat between European Commission and Ethno, basically. And we are the collateral damage of that chit-chat. And that's a problem. The problem is sometimes extremely simple and sometimes extremely complex. Let's say in France, I don't know if it's the same in other places, when there is a public network paid by a city or department, a region, or the state, it is mandatory that the network is available for every operator under non-discriminatory conditions. Sounds fair. Okay, the non-discriminatory condition can be the first access is €1 million. There is no discrimination. Every operator which can afford €1 million can use the network. This is the way it works. And we made a lot of work to have the National Regulatory Authority listen to us and solve some problem. The first one, up to 1997, was the fee. To be an operator, you had to pay a non-discriminatory fee according to the European text. The French transcription was €20,000 per operator, which is non-discriminatory for SFR, Free, Telecom, or people that size. 20,000 is nothing. For us, 20,000 was a full year of budget to pay every year as a fee to be an operator. That kind of thing, that way to transcript the European text in French law can be extremely hard on very specific and small points. One of those points is access to the infrastructure. When there is a fiber infrastructure deployed, may it be by private actors or by public actors, we are not sure we will be able to access them. In fact, we are sure we will not be able to access them and to use them to provide really neutral internet access for urban citizens. The key point on that is that we need the NRA to be able to act. We need to have them be able to open the market when we need it. And right now, the European Telecommunications Code prevents it. Because, what was the term about regulatory holiday? Yeah. Regulatory holiday means the big guys will scratch the small ones. We are the small ones. And we need to have a powerful national regulation authority, not because of the war between large-scale operators, but to prevent the large-scale operator to destroy us. There are some community networks, and those networks did work before opening the market. And we need those networks to still work after the European Parliament did try to open the market. From a point of view, investment is not the question. The main infrastructure, the optical fiber infrastructure, is an asset which is the only one in the telecom that will not depreciate. Google may fail, may fall. Netflix can rise and fall. Any company can rise and fall, not the one operating the optical fiber. Whatever the shape of the market, the company who owns and rent the optical fiber network will have money back. This is the only investment that cannot fail. So they may pretend they need that or this kind of regulation to accept to invest, but in fact it is the only investment that cannot fail. So it is the investment that needs to be regulated because it is the only one which is a monopoly by essence. Not a monopoly in terms of, well, the RCEP made a great analysis of the fixed telecom market. They said Orange is 60%, SFR is 30%, etc. Okay. From my point of view, in my apartment, there is only one optical fiber which comes in. I am only connected to one network. Through that network, I maybe can choose several internet access providers, and from there, I can do whatever I want on the internet. From the customer point of view, there is only one access to the optical fiber. So that access is a monopoly. De facto, for the end user, that access is a monopoly. If I cannot choose a non-profit organization as an internet access provider, if I cannot build an internet provider for me and a few friends in my city, then the market is not open. The question is not if the market is open between Orange and Vodafone. The question is, from the end user, can I build a network operator that will cover my place? The question is real in rural area. Can I build the infrastructure when the market is totally failing? Am I allowed to build a fiber optic network? Right now in France, our studies show that we cannot, in the Federation, build fiber optic network where it is needed. We can technically, we have the money to do it, we have regulatory problems, and so if we do it, we will do it illegally and anonymously and without saying it, because it's not allowed. The main question is also for urban people. Are urban people only consumers for Netflix, or are urban people citizens of the internet, and are they allowed to access their own infrastructure, and how? All those points are difficult for us. It's also difficult to work with European institutions. It's not so easy to work with RCEP, at least it's in French, which is easier, but it requires us to come from the place where we work to Paris to assist to meetings, which are always during business hours. We are volunteers. People building the Wi-Fi network around Toulouse, in the south of France, are doing it during weekends, evenings, etc. Taking 2 days to come to Paris to attend a meeting is something complex. In case you missed it, I'm in holiday to come see you. I mean, my boss does not care. I'm the president of a volunteer-based federation, so here I'm in holiday. And it's difficult to take holiday to do daily work with the National Regulation Authority, and I have almost no chance to do it, to work with European institutions. It's too complex. And the actual code, as it's still under some movement, try to lessen the power of the NRA to act when we need it. And we really need the regulation to be allowed to do something smart. Maybe they will not. I mean, we have seen the Belgian market where the regulation did fail. French market is a little bit better, but we need to have at least a chance. If there is no regulation, then you will only have in Europe Netflix customers.